What's up, guys? I'm traveling and I'm in Canada, and I got to thinking, like, I wish I was back in the US. I can't carry a firearm here, obviously, and even if I don't carry a firearm, I still can't really. I don't know the legal ramifications of protecting myself, let's say, here in Canada. So it got me thinking, like, I haven't talked about the Attorneys on Retainer program in a while, which it's for the United States, not Canada. So I kind of feel like I'm not protected here if I had to protect myself with physical force, either physical regular physical force or deadly physical force. The likelihood of that happening is slim, but it's still likely. Anyway, so I got to thinking, what do I want to do to try to convince you all to go to AOR versus the other guys. So here I am. This is ChatGPT, and this is the open one. I haven't paid for it at all. And I figured I'd just do a stream of questions that we might have. So let's start off with the first question, and let's go with how many self-defense, I'm just going to put insurance programs are there in the United States. Now, the reason why I put insurance is because I don't know what else to call it. Like, it's coverage, insurance. See, Attorneys on Retainer is not insurance. Let's just make that clear. So let's see what ChatGPT says. Let me move my ugly mug over here somewhere. So we're looking for insurance programs. So we'll see what ChatGPT says on these programs within the United States. All right, so there's no official count, but based on the comparisons and reporting, there are about 8 to 12 national self-defense CCW legal protection programs, and roughly 15 to 30 distinct programs if you include smaller state-specific or captive plans and niche providers. So these aren't all traditional insurance companies. Many operate as legal defense plans, prepaid legal programs, or liability policies bought by associations. So they're tracked differently by different sources. Okay. Let's see. It says major national providers: USCCA, US LawShield, including Texas LawShield, CCW Safe, Second Call Defense. First time I've ever heard of that. Firearms Legal Protection, Armed Citizens Legal Defense Network, Right to Bear, and a few others commonly appear in comparisons and reviews. Most comparison articles highlight these 6 to 10 names as the market leaders. Okay. Says nothing about AOR. Let's see. Let's ask it. Is AOR, I don't think spelling matters, but AOR a program that you can trust? Oh, wait, hold on. Let's do this. Why is AOR not listed? So we'll see what it says, of course. Here we go. AOR should be on many lists of self-defense gun legal protection CCW programs. The reason it sometimes isn't included depends on how one defines insurance or insurance type program, plus some regulatory distinctions. Here's the breakdown where AOR fits, how it differs, and why it might have been excluded. The Attorneys on Retainer program offers legal protection, defense services for self-defense incidents. All right, cool. That looks like it's coming from, Tactical Hive Directory. Look at that. Oh, that's probably for me. That's probably the one I put in there. It's organized by the Attorneys for Freedom Law Firm, and it uses a risk retention group for certain liability civil coverage components. Okay. AOR emphasizes attorney-client privilege, that coverage decisions are made by attorneys, not insurance adjusters. Okay, cool. Fewer or no exclusions in many cases, and legal representation from day one. All right, that's coming basically from the Attorneys on Retainer. So, let's see. Okay, how insurance versus membership legal retainer distinctions matter. Now, this is pretty important. The reason AOR may be omitted from some counts is because of how different programs are categorized. Here are the key distinctions. All right, regulated as insurance under state law with insurance company backing and subject to insurance regulations. Insurance style programs, yes. AOR style programs, partially AOR is not a traditional insurance company. Many services are provided by a law firm with legal service contracts. Has standard insurance inclusions. Frequency, yes. They have exclusions, insurance type programs, but AOR claims to have far few exclusionary clauses. They actually call their exclusions inclusions. So basically, for example, if you carry illegally and you get caught because you had to defend yourself with that firearm, well, you're covered. Now, if you get caught and there's no self-defense associated with that, yeah, you're not covered. But so you are still taking a risk there. Legal and criminal defense and civil liability. Many insurance companies offer some combination of these. AOR offers many of those services plus civil liability and expanded benefits. I'm not drunk, I just can't read. All right. Label. Insurance versus membership. Okay. Insurance. This is membership, law firm, risk retention group, not labeled as pure insurance in many places. So what this is talking about is you have the risk retention group, which covers certain aspects of your self-defense coverage. That being like being able to replace a firearm, for example, that you lose because of an investigation, something like that. That is an addition to the overall point of AOR, and that is if you defend yourself either with physical force or deadly physical force, then you're covered, period. And they're going to represent you, and that's important to me. Okay. And forgive me, this is off the cuff. This is just I'm bored in my hotel, and this is what it is. All right. AOR might not have been listed. Okay. Here's the reasons. The count was restricted to insurance programs. See that? Since AOR isn't insurance, it's it's excluded from my question how many insurance self-defense programs are there out there. And they did list USCCA, US LawShield, CCW Safe, etc., etc., etc. So, I mean, if that's not enough to tell you those other programs are likely insurance, well, I don't know what will. Okay. If the list only included programs legally defined as insurance, AOR might have been excluded, since it often describes itself as not insurance. It's a legal service agreement. Okay, pretty plain and simple. AOR has recently added changed benefits, which may blur lines. Older surveys might predate those expansions. So like I said, the risk retention group is the addition to the overall premise of the program. So the program is not insurance, and they have this risk retention group, which is owned by the law firm, Attorneys for Freedom law firm. So the only people who actually say what's covered and what's not is the Attorneys for Freedom law firm. That's it, period. No insurance adjuster, nothing like that. If you have a self-defense incident and you're a member of AOR, and you can reasonably assert that you had a good faith self-defense, and you're going to be criminally charged, they're going to cover you. That's it. All right. Regulatory issues in certain states. Some states have taken regulatory action. For example, a cease and desist in Michigan, which alleged AOR prepaid services is conducting transactions of insurance without a license. This may affect on how it is. Well, there was a cease and desist, but they have since resolved that, and AOR is still operating in Michigan. So that's a telltale sign right there. Awareness advertising data. Sometimes lists rely on what programs are well known, well marketed, or clearly self-described as. Okay. So obviously they're going to market themselves as not insurance. There might be some insurance qualities to it, but remember, pure insurance has to go to an insurance adjuster to say whether you are covered or not. So, for example, your house catches on fire. The insurance adjuster is going to go, well, you signed the contract, you didn't have fire insurance, therefore you're not covered, bye-bye. Now, you take that in the self-defense realm. If they have exclusions, like, I don't know, carrying in a prohibited place, and even though you had a good faith self-defense incident in a prohibited place, they're still going to exclude you from that program because you broke one of their rules. That's all the other insurance companies, all the other companies that have insurance type stuff. AOR doesn't do that. In fact, that's an inclusion. So if you are carrying in a prohibited place, like let's say a mall that has a sign on it, and you have to defend yourself in that mall, well, they're still going to cover you. It's that simple. It is literally that simple. Okay, guys? All right, so what does it say? I can put together a list of dozen of self-defense legal protection programs, see how many are insurance-backed versus law firm membership. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to put yes. Let's see what it comes up with. All right. Let's break them down by type. Insurance-backed liability legal defense policies, underwritten by insurance companies, subject to insurance regulations, claims, exclusions, premium structures. Examples: USCCA's self-defense liability insurance. It is underwritten by an insurance company. Wow. I did not do anything to make them say that. Like, that is what ChatGPT is saying right off the bat. All right, here's another one. Membership subscription legal defense retainer style plans. Membership gives you access to legal representation in covered scenarios, may not be traditional insurance. U.S. LawShield's legal defense for self-defense is a membership program with 0 attorney fees for covered events. Okay, for covered events. What's a covered event exactly? I don't know what that is. This isn't a video about US LawShield. This is a video about AOR. So I don't know what a covered event would be for US LawShield, but it's not. It looks like it's not an insurance-backed liability. So, risk retention group hybrid legal programs. Some parts operate like insurance liability via an RRG combined with legal service contracts. So Attorneys on Retainer has a self-defense component via the Attorneys for Freedom Risk Retention Group plus legal representation via their firm. Okay. Legal plan plus firearm supplement. A more generalized legal plan, many for legal issues with an with an add-on for firearms, self-defense matters. So Legal Shield offers gun owner supplement to its general legal plan for an extra fee. Okay, whatever. That's besides the point. State niche specialized plans. Some programs are specific to certain states, local organizations, or niche coverage. Okay. So some providers offer special programs for law enforcement first responders, like CCW Safe offers that, which, like, that's just wild to me. I hate that the government pits law enforcement versus civilians against each other. Like, for example, LEOSA. I hate LEOSA. I like the premise of being able to, carry all 50 states. I mean, I think you should be able to with your Second Amendment. But LEOSA is the only available pathway to do that, and you have to be a retired law enforcement officer, an active law enforcement officer, or you have to be a law enforcement officer who got out of the law enforcement realm due to some kind of injury. So I hate that us civilians don't have a pathway to carry nationwide. But maybe that'll get fixed with, I think it's HR 38. All right. So known commonly cited self-defense legal protection programs. All right. So USCCA is insurance plus membership. USCCA has purchased an insurance policy providing self-defense liability insurance to its members. Again, this is straight off of ChatGPT. I did not tell it to do this. You saw right there in the screen. Right there, it says right there, self-defense liability insurance. Okay. The U.S. LawShield, membership, legal defense, insurance style. Their legal defense for self-defense program includes criminal and civil defense hotline, so on and so forth. So insurance, it's an insurance style. I don't know what that means, but I don't like insurance. I think insurance is a big scam, and that's where we're at. CCW Safe, membership plan advisor model. Okay, offers various plans for firearm owners with coverage for self-defense events. Okay, right to bear, insurance. They market themselves as attorney-backed. Okay, so attorney-backed is, for USCCA is attorney-backed. You know what I mean? Like Tom Greaves, even though he doesn't have, I don't think he has an official thing with them. I mean, he does a lot for them. He doesn't work for them, but he obviously does a lot for USCCA. And so, one could say USCCA is insurance backed, so right to bear is probably insurance backed as well. All right. Firearms legal protection, membership, legal service. They cover attorney's fees for criminal and civil cases arising from self-defense incidents, among other benefits. Okay, attorneys on retainer, hybrid, law firm plus RRG. Haha. Notice, not insurance. All right, AOR is run by a law firm specializing in self-defense cases with associated RRG for liability and legal services. All right, cool. So there you go. There's that hybrid law firm plus RRG, not insurance. Risk retention group, that is the addition to what you get with your self-defense coverage. All right, legal shield, legal plan plus firearm supplement. It's not purely a self-defense insurance product, but a legal services add-on for firearms and self-defense issues. Okay. And prime insurance, gun liability, CCW insurance product under gun owner liability, concealed weapons coverage, including, okay, whatever. Okay, so that what that section tells me right there is that USCCA is insurance, US LawShield is insurance style, right to bear is insurance, and whatever this is insurance product. So now that tells me that I definitely will not go with those individuals or individual companies. Whatever this is, firearm legal protection, I don't know what the hell that is. Anyway. So it says additionally broader overviews and comparisons point to other niche or less prominent plans. Okay. So we're looking for the strict definition of insurance. AOR is, it markets itself as not insurance, which it's not insurance. It's actually a retainer fee. Like this, if you know anything about lawyers, they get a retainer fee so they can start services. It's like a down payment of services. And then once they exhaust that retainer fee, they will charge you more money on top of that retainer fee. So attorneys on retainer it's actually pretty brilliant. All right, what else can we ask this thing? I'm ready to move on. Let's go with what do I need? Okay, here we go. What do I need to be covered by AOR? Okay, so choose a membership plan. I don't know if this is true. Maybe it does. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's just either a national plan or just a state plan, whatever state, like one state. So I'm not sure if this is true right here. Maybe, but anyway, choose a membership plan. Number 1, pay the fee. Sign the retainer agreement. Whoa, what is that? Retainer agreement? You must electronically sign the AOR's legal services agreement, which states you are retaining the Attorneys for Freedom law firm for legal representation in covered self-defense cases. The firm will represent you in both criminal and civil proceedings arising from lawful self-defense. You agree to keep your membership active to maintain coverage. This is important. You sign a retainer agreement, and I'm not a lawyer, but I think that's what actually gives you the attorney-client privilege. All right. Maintain an active membership. Okay. Understand what's covered. Okay. You're covered for criminal defense in any lawful self-defense incident, civil defenses and damages via the RRG portion, red flag defense, appeals, and attorney representation, coverage in all 50 states for lawful self-defense situations. So that is the in good faith self-defense, right? That's how attorneys on retainer words it, good faith self-defense. Okay, so what happens if I am in a good faith self-defense situation and I call AOR as an AOR member? That's an excellent question and important, and it's one of the biggest reasons people choose AOR over traditional insurance company programs. All right, step by step, what happens? You call the AOR emergency number immediately. They have a 24/7 emergency hotline. So if you didn't know this, AOR has 5 different teams. Each team has at least 1 attorney and 2 paralegals. So they have 3 people on each team. That's 15 people. And they rotate on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. So there's always somebody available to pick up the phone if you have an incident. All right. This is not entirely true right here. I know this for a fact because I talked to them. So you'll be speaking directly with an attorney. That is not entirely true. You could be, but you're going to be connected with an attorney. So remember, there's 1 attorney in these teams, and there's 2 paralegals. So let's say the paralegal answers the phone. They're going to connect you with the attorney who is on standby for you. Okay, so they will be connecting you to an attorney, but you may not get an attorney right off the bat. Okay, so I guess maybe you eventually you'll be speaking directly with an attorney, probably on that call, but the attorney may not answer the phone, if that makes sense. All right. They're going to instruct you on what to say or not say, begin advising you immediately under attorney-client privilege, determine whether you need an in-person response from AOR attorney or a local affiliated attorney. This is, okay, so you're not just getting advice, you're invoking your legal defense right away. So, yes, 100%. Notice it said this is critical. Okay? An AOR attorney is dispatched or assigned. Okay, so an AOR attorney, either from the Attorneys for Freedom law firm or one of their vetted affiliates, will respond directly to handle your case. In serious incidents, they can travel or coordinate local counsel to ensure representation on scene or as soon as you are taken into custody. So, I know that the New York incident that is a telltale sign on what they can do. So they were able to get representation in New York for the gentleman who defended himself, and he was carrying illegally, and that gentleman is now sitting at home with his wife with a mere misdemeanor and not a felony, and he's not in Rikers, so that's great. New York at all places, right? So, and then AOR assumes your defense. It says from the moment on, your case becomes their case. They represent you in criminal court for all charges related to your lawful self-defense. If you are sued civilly, the affiliated risk retention group covers the civil liability defense. There you go. That's why RRG is there. Don't pay attorney's fees for covered events. Your membership covers that retainer. Remember, it's a retainer. You're retaining the Attorneys for Freedom law firm through the Attorneys uh, and then screw it up. The attorneys on retainer program. Okay, so you're retaining the law firm in its entirety for you, right? So that's what you're doing when you pay the fee. You receive ongoing legal representation. All right. Civil protection applies as well. You remain covered through the process. And what is good faith self-defense? Wow, it just put it right there, didn't it? AOR's coverage applies when your actions fall under reasonable, lawful self-defense, meaning you reasonably believe deadly force was necessary to prevent death or serious bodily harm. You weren't the initial aggressor. You didn't act recklessly or unlawfully. This right here is not. This right here is not true, right? So they will cover you still if you were intoxicated, if you used an illegal weapon, so on and so forth. I don't know about this one here, so it kind of gets a little bit muddy there, but if you can reasonably assert that you had to defend yourself, they're still going to cover you. And here it is. If it's a gray area, AOR's position is to defend you first and sort out the details later, rather than denying coverage up front, which distinguishes them from most other programs. All right. If you call AOR after an incident and you're not yet a member, they will still help you as a private client, but you'll have to pay a traditional retainer and hourly fees. Let me tell you something. Mark and Andy, they are not cheap. Okay? And I wouldn't want to pay those fees. Just saying. What is this? Would you like me to break down what AOR covers that other programs typically exclude or delay coverage for? Wow, that is a very good question, ChatGPT. Yes, I would like you to do that. Please, go ahead. Boop. All right, this is going to be the last one, guys. So, like I said, I was just bored in my hotel. I haven't talked about AOR in a while. And since I'm in another country, I don't have the coverage that I do in the United States. So I kind of feel naked. Kind of, sort of. I guess I technically could be under the computer here since it's on my lap, but I'm not. Anyway, all right. So here we go. Side-by-side comparison showing AOR and some of the other companies. Okay, here we go. Immediate response after self-defense incident. Who answers your call? AOR, a licensed attorney. Not necessarily true. It may be a paralegal. All right? It's going to be the legal team, a legal team that's on call to answer your stuff. So let's just make that clear. Okay. Most other programs, call center operator or case manager. Not an attorney. So again, somebody from the legal team on call is going to answer the phone. It's going to be a paralegal or a lawyer, but you will be connected with a lawyer, okay? Attorney-client privilege immediately applies. Yes. Most other programs, no. Not until an attorney is formally assigned. So you don't get that attorney-client privilege right off the bat with most other programs, probably all other programs. So for me, that's a big one. That's a huge one, right? Because I don't want something that I said arbitrarily or in the heat of the moment to be discovered or to be discoverable, right? Because there will be a discovery if there's an investigation of your case, okay? And that discovery may include your conversation with these other programs because it's a call center operator or case manager. It's not a legal team, and you didn't retain an attorney with these guys. With these guys, you did retain an attorney through the Attorneys for Freedom law firm. Okay. Representation begins instantly. Yes. And then most other programs usually after coverage, review, or approval. Wow, I didn't know that. That's oh man, that is big. Upfront payment required? No, with attorneys on retainer. And then most of the programs, sometimes yes, you may pay and then get reimbursed later. Wow, okay, cool. So even if you don't have, with these other programs, even if though you paid into it, they may have you pay more and then reimburse you. That's interesting. All right. That basically makes the case for AOR. Sorry, just interesting. All right, criminal defense coverage. Attorneys' fees for criminal defense, unlimited for covered self-defense, and then most other programs are capped. Interesting. Choice of attorney. AOR provides its own or affiliated attorneys. They will allow you to choose your own. So I got to correct that here. They will allow you to choose your own. I know that for a fact. That's what they told me. But I wouldn't recommend it. Like, I don't know any other attorneys out there except for Mark and Andy. So, like, I don't have time to go and find an attorney in my state of Colorado, or whatever state I happen to be in when I have the self-defense incident, by the way. So I could be in, let's say, West Virginia or North Carolina or Tennessee. Well, I don't have the time to find an attorney in that state. So, but they have affiliates all over the country. So even though they said they provide their own or affiliated, you could choose your own, but I would recommend not to. Some allow choice, other assigned from their network. All right. Starts before charges filed. Yes. So this is from the first police contact, and then this often starts only once charges are filed. Interesting. Representation through appeals included, not always over here. Representation for non-firearm self-defense, fully covered. Many exclude or limit to firearms use. Wow. Okay. This is actually really enlightening for me, because I'm like, wow, there's a lot of stuff that the other programs aren't covering. It's pretty wild. Civil defense attorney's fees included. Okay. Civil damages, judgment settlements covered via risk retention group, usually capped or excluded. Representation of acquitted criminality, but sued civilly, yes. Yes, varies by provider. Okay, covers limits. Higher or unlimited, depending on RRG. Usually 250 to 2 million combined limits. Okay, so I'm actually not sure if that's true. I think there is some kind of a limit. They're probably similar. Okay. Exclusions and denials. Gun-free zones covered if good faith. Usually excluded. Impaired or alcohol. Reviewed case by case, not auto decline. So like I said, they will cover you in the interim, and then see where the facts lay, and if it happens to be that it wasn't good faith self-defense, that's what it boils down to. It doesn't boil down to whether you were drunk or whether you were stoned or whether you carried illegally or any of that stuff. It boils down to if it was good faith self-defense or not. Okay, and then but usually excluded over here. Accidental discharge may still qualify if under self-defense. Okay, so if you draw your firearm and you have an accidental discharge while drawing your firearm in a self-defense situation, it would likely be included in that. But if you just have an accidental discharge, let's say in your home, cleaning your gun or something, then that's not included. So, but it's definitely excluded here in other programs. Family domestic incidents covered in lawful self-defense. Again, there's a common theme here. This is excluded. Weapons other than firearm covered, often excluded. Felony charges later, still covered. Some deny retroactively if charges escalate. Wow. Okay. That I didn't know either. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Huh. So let's say it was a misdemeanor and they try to escalate charges. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, program philosophy, legal structure, law firm, retainer, plus retention group. Okay, insurance or prepaid. Who decides coverage? Attorneys, insurance claims department. I mean, at this point, if you go with the other programs, like I think you're just throwing your money away. Emphasis: defend you first, ask questions later. Review incident first, approve or deny coverage. Primary focuses: criminal and civil defense representation, financial reimbursements. Oh man. Attorney-client privilege from the moment of the call, and this is only after assignment. We already covered that. Additional coverage areas, red flag, yes, rarely included. Appeals, fully covered, usually excluded. Gun confiscation, return assistance, yes, rare or not mentioned. Travel, 50-state coverage, yes, limited by state laws or exclusions. I know one of those one of those programs you can't even get coverage in Washington, New York, and some other state. Spouse and family add-ons, optional, often included, or optional. Okay. So the key takeaway to this, this whole thing that we just did, okay, if you watch to this point, this is the key takeaway. Most other insurance programs are reimbursement based. They'll cover you after determining you acted lawfully, and often impose coverage caps and exclusions. By contrast, AOR operates as your law firm from the moment you call. You're not just insured, you're legally represented, underprivileged immediately. So there's that, guys. So if, like I said, if you made it this far, you should use my link in my profile, or you can check out the description below. It will be there. If you watch this whole thing or a portion of it, or it intrigued you or anything like that, you should probably look into it more if you're still on the fence. But I'm telling you right now, all the other companies will find a way to exclude you. AOR will not. They are trying to find ways to include you into the coverage. So as long as you have a good faith self-defense incident, you're a member, and you pay the fee, a monthly fee, okay, and you're going to be charged or likely charged with a crime. They got you covered. So check out my link below. Get signed up today. Save $25 on your membership. Tack out.